Conjuring, Insidious 2 and 3, and as Reg Moreau on The Walking Dead. Give it up for Steve Calder. Our next guest has been featured in Silver Bullet, Lady of the Water, Law and Order. If you watch The Walking Dead, the one question you've asked yourself is, who's Deanna? Give it up for Coda Felcher! This next young man has been featured on American Horror Story in the role of Corey Bachman. He also likes cookies more than me, which is hard to believe considering my stature. Sam Anderson himself, Major Dodson! Front and center. And last but not least, right now, she's been featured in True Blood, American Horror Story, and the Sam's mom, Jessie Anderson. Give it up for the lovely Alexandra Breckenridge. Welcome to the Dearly Departed. Who has the first question? Come on, you guys are waiting all weekend for this. Put your hands up. Come on, Bueller.
I see one right there.
Yeah. I'll be the icebreaker. Thank you. All right. So, as far as you guys go, it seems like some of your characters obviously had a larger run time on the show than others, and I think that you guys all have different levels of bitterness about that. Do you guys constantly stay in contact with each other now as your careers go forward from The Walking Dead?
Well, what do you think? Of course we don't. We love each other dearly, and we connect when we can connect, and it was a very familial feeling on the set. The set is extremely unique, and we owe that to Andrew Lincoln. He's great. But you know, basically when you gather any cast for any artistic project, they can come from all four corners of the earth, and when the project ends, they go back to those four corners. So our life proceeds the way your life would proceed.
We get to see each other at these things, which is odd. But anytime I come, like last time, you guys were all alive. Welcome.
I have a question for Major. Over here, to your left. Walking Dead, as we've seen, is no stranger to crossing lines. Children are not safe. The little girl, Sophia, Lizzie, and Micah. You definitely had the most brutal death out of all the children. Were you shocked at how graphic your death scene was?
I was pretty excited about how graphic it was. It's all good to be the first, you know. If you're going to go out, at least you're going to go out with a bang, metaphorically. But literally, I went out with a more bang. But it was a bit of a, and a bit of a, at the same time.
He's got a question. Over here in blue.
Do you get much advance notice before they're ready to kill off your character? Do you have any right to negotiate?
I don't think my mic's working. Hello?
All right. Try next one.
Hello? Oh, there I am. I was going to say, I attempted that. I tried to pitch them an alternate storyline. I think I got what? Did you get told in March?
What years?
Did you get told in March before the season started? Because that's when
It was a very interesting interaction. I was looking at an apartment, and I got a call from the head saying, "Tova, darling, don't get a long lease." So I was devastated, but in The Walking Dead, when you're devastated, you have to be devastated and shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Because you have a non-disclosure agreement that is very thick, and my father was a lawyer, my husband is a lawyer, my uncle is a judge. I know what these things mean, and I didn't tell anybody anything except for my life partner, except for my husband, and then eventually, literally 3 months later, I eked it out to my representatives, because my agents and managers had to know that they needed to look for work, and I would get crazy ex-girlfriends, so it had a very good ending. So the truth is, apparently, as myth would have it, or reality, some actor was not told, and they were at the reading and discovered bye-bye, and it was a big upset. And ever since then, that was way prior to our participation in season 5 when Alexandria was born, you know, through The Walking Dead. From that time on, Scott Gimple has been very careful. When he told me, which is exactly what you said, much earlier than any of us are allowed to assume, I was also asked to keep specifically to be quiet, and I did. I didn't tell anybody.
I assumed that you were getting killed off because you still stayed at the same hotel from season 5. And I was like, why would you stay at this hotel? There's no kitchen. Like, you were really in it for the long haul. I think everybody sort of assumed that maybe...
What Alexandra doesn't understand, because she's such a brilliant cook, is that the older actors, and that would be Scott Wilson and I, we were the 2 actors that only stayed at hotels. I take care of 2 houses and a family in my life. I want room service and maid service. That's what I want. I don't know. I was told much earlier than I wanted to know, and I was told, you know. So.
I thought 3 weeks, because I got a message from that Scott.
The usual is 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I was told.
And he said, Scott would like to talk to you, and I thought, oh, he wants to compliment me on my work. And then I got another message that Scott really wants to talk to you about what's coming up in the finale. And so when he called me, I went, I'm going to die. And he apologized literally about 12 times. He said, it's going to be really cool, I promise. So they're really good.
They're very kind, and everybody goes on The Walking Dead to die. That was the series. The way it works is they have the character introduced, they have you attached to the character. They ain't going to kill you before you attach to me, or before you absolutely love Herschel, or love Jesse. Well, how can you not love her? You, Sam, you're another situation.
Thinking, I'll never forget that famous scene with Carol when she just terrorizes him. And the poor little guy is stuck up in his room, and when you watch that, they did it very well, where you see all that time alone finally comes together. And it was kind of hard. I know we all heard it when we, at the mid-season finale, we went, Mom, a lot of people did. But the poor guy, so he did a great job.
Thank you.
Any questions for the cast over here?
Hi, thanks for being here. If you had to pick one moment that's most memorable of all your time with The Walking Dead, something that you look back in 10 years and say, wow, I did that, what would it be?
Mom.
I'm just kidding. My first scene with Carol, when I found her in the armory, I honestly find that to be the most memorable moment for me, because that's basically what kicked it off for me. That's what made me who Sam really is, Because I find it to be that scene, as I said before, is what kicked it off. But the way I say it, I can't figure out how to say it kicked it off the right way, to express how much it actually did that. Because that was a monumental scene for me.
I enjoyed stabbing a woman in the chest. That's my favorite. Of anything I've ever done. That was my favorite scene. I was like, I get to get paid for this?
Mine was the silent scream at the end of the... It was an ad-lib, it wasn't in the script. And the entire set froze. And then they said, Tova, would you mind doing another one without the scream? I said, I don't mind doing anything you need, but that's the money shot. And Mikey, our phenomenal director, kept it in. And he did cut out the sound so that you could fill in the blank, but he kept in that thing. And I was thinking of the Maori warriors in Rotorua, New Zealand, that to scare the enemy, there are masks of them going like this. So it was one of my favorite moment. The whole, the problem with losing your job on The Walking Dead is that you want to always keep going back to the set because the set feels so good. You feel so beloved, so valued, so nurtured, and it's extremely unique. I've been doing this for 40 years, and I'm telling you, it's really singular that way.
Yes. The first message I got after I had the job was a message that said, welcome to the family. And the cast was just so great. Usually you come into a show, it's like the 5th season, and it wasn't for long, but everyone welcomes you and goes out of their way to welcome you. And like my favorite scene was with Noah. And then a moment, I mentioned this before, you guys couldn't see it, but when I died in the arms of Topa's character, it was very cold that night, and I could feel her tears on my cheek. This says a lot about the level of commitment of the actors on the show. But that was also all of our last nights that season. I remember that, just little drips of this, like, that's,
There's a tradition which people do when they can. I don't know in the middle of the night if they can, but if you're filmed dying during the day in a decent hour, everybody comes to the set, whether they're working or not. Apparently when Herschel was killed, everybody came to the set and wore suspenders. So everybody, Normie came to the set, Andy came to the set, everybody came to the set to bid the character goodbye. It was terrible. Not just in an artistic way, what was really difficult was leaving the emotional ties and the support that you have in this project. And I'm certain that's one of the factors why it's #1. I'm certain. Many factors go into having a great leader. He's such a great leader, people get better around him. More than that, what gets easier? The negotiations. If you want a job, supply and demand starts to tilt in a different direction. You're not going to give them a lot of trouble if you want to work on the #1 show in the world. So it influences the finances of AMC. It influences everything. We had a production, first debut production runner named Tom, and he would make sure that every actor had to take the 3rd to last flight back the day before they shoot. No joke. So if Sonequa was working, she would have to leave tomorrow at 12 noon to get back to Georgia. Always the 3rd to last flight, so that there were no excuses. An actor could not show up when they're supposed to. And we towed that line. We didn't mess around with that at all.
Hi again. So, mostly this question is directed towards you, but it kind of goes to everybody. I feel like everybody can have a really good answer for this. Especially you've gotten a lot of unnecessary roughness on the internet, especially from certain things that your character has done. Is there anything that you would actually want fans to know about you personally so that they don't attack you and your character?
let it out.
Well, I'll say it. I'm not saying. I'm a person. Well, that's right. I'm not saying. That's right. So there you go.
You're a damn fine actor.
No, but to go back to what you were saying about the silent screen, everybody's caught up on the show, I hope. If not, spoiler alert. You pop
What are you doing in this room?
back up as a walk in the second half of the season. Is there something, like, I don't know, a deleted scene or something that explains how that happened? 'Cause, I mean, you looked like you were going out bat out of hell in Defiance, and then you pop back up. We all thought you were eaten. So is there something explaining that two-month time gap where you pop back up?
What happened is that I used the bullets I had on the walkers I could. And before they could get me, I went into the closet. And I still had not turned, so I was in a closet. And I prevented them from entering that closet, whether it was with my legs, whatever. And I probably turned in the closet and then got out into the forest and started to wander the forest. And then Carl found me and brought me to my son so that my son could kill me the way he had killed his own mother in, I guess it was season 2, the most extraordinary piece of acting I've seen in a long time was Sarah Wayne Callies, that death scene when she was giving birth and the way it was dealt with by her fellow actors. It was just searing. It was horrendous. So I got lucky, you know, they asked permission, as Scott Gimple would. He said, would you mind, would you be a walker? You don't have to be, you know, you'll get paid either way. I had a pay or play. And I said, of course, I'll do whatever you need me to do. He said, I promise I'll make the scene useful, impinging. And he did. The question is, what is a walker? And how do you study that? And how do you become that? That was what was challenging to me. How do you become soulless when you spend your whole life trying to inhabit the souls of other human beings?
Did you have to go to walker school like everybody else?
I did, and I'm in the slow class. I went to walker school for a great deal of time. I also had the great niece up my sleeve, which was Austin Nichols, my son, who played the character Spencer. Just a terrific guy, and we worked diligently and deeply on it, and then we got lucky. We had a wonderful director, and she decided to take an aerial shot. So when he put the knife into the back of my head went back, and the camera was up here, and I didn't understand as an actor how effective that was in the architecture of the scene, but this director did, and the cinematographer did. And then you have the picture of the son holding the mother like the Pietà. It's like Michelangelo in Florence. You have this dead figure of the parent, and the son is holding the mother. And then he buries me and puts a D on a tree, and apparently that's a big attraction on the tour of Sonoya now. Where is the D tree? So, yeah. I was very touched by it. You know, I think The Walking Dead goes well beyond itself. It goes to the mythology of ancient Greece, ancient Rome, Neolithic man. What does it mean to survive? What does it mean to be a mensch? What does it mean to be a human being amidst these horrendous conditions, which in 2 seconds you can take from here, and we could take ourselves to Afghanistan or to the Islamist extremists and to the deadly wars that go on with terrorism all over the world now. Deadly, unforgiving, purposely cruel murders of one Homo sapien to another. So because we have these problems, The Walking Dead in a way codifies it and enables us to try to investigate how the hell are we going to survive this, and how much humanity of our own can we maintain under these kind of pressures.
Major and Alexander, can you compare Walking Dead to your other work on American Horror Story? Like, what one you enjoyed more, or the differences on set?
The difference, the set environments are completely different. I mean, everyone on American Horror Story is absolutely lovely, but no set, as Tova said, I've ever been on, it's like The Walking Dead. It's just a completely different, wonderful place to be that you never want to leave, and everybody gets killed off.
An old feeling.
Yeah, but I personally had more fun working on The Walking Dead just because of that. American Horror Story was fantastic, and I loved playing the slutty maid. But I didn't need to wear that outfit for more than one season, so I was fine with that.
hair down here. I kind of have to go with what she said, because Walking Dead, like she said, was just a lot more engaging than the people in the plot. I mean, I meant to say the people and the set. Yeah. What's the set? Okay, the people.
Well, the set environment.
The set environment, yes, for the people in the set.
Right.
Right.
We get you. I get you.
I have to go with, like, people-wise, The Walking Dead. Experience-wise, The Walking Dead. Because, like she said, American Horror Story, it was amazing. Everybody was a sweetheart on that show. But on Walking Dead, it's just almost an instant bonding that everybody has on the set, you know? It's like kind of meeting a spontaneous new best friend. Except it's a multitude of people on an amazing set. That's what I think of that's my comparison to The Walking Dead and American Horror Story.
But it's not an accident. No, this is predetermined by, you know, as Golda Meir would say, some people love you and some people love you and show up. So when Andy writes to Steven, welcome to the family, Andy also comes to the set when he's not working to watch Steven work. Now, I've never seen that in my life. From a lead in a series, they have a lot of responsibilities. They usually are studying or asleep when they're not working. So I would be working on a scene and Andrew Lincoln would be at the set. I said, what are you doing here? He said, I came to watch you work. So it just, you know, when you have a human being doing that, getting to the set early so he can hug everybody in hair and makeup and say hello to the gardeners.
That's a real thing.
That's a real thing. He goes to the people who maintain the grass. So that's what we're looking at. Or I was in London looking at a nightclub. I was asked to sing in a nightclub. He lives in Wiltshire. Wilshire's like Hartford from New York. It's like New York to Cherry Hill. It's 2.5 hours. I said, I'd love to see you. He said, done. And he came down to see me. Now, I've been on 5 of his episodes. This is unheard of, that he does one decent, kind thing totally about you and not about him, time after time. So when Major or I or Allie or Steven get to the set, the humanity level is at another vibration. And people have followed suit. People haven't said, what a schmuck this guy is. Not at all. People go, my God, this guy is like, what?
He just goes way out. We had like a rap party, and he went out of his way to take my girlfriend aside, and that doesn't sound right. That's insane. That just doesn't end that. He does that kind of thing all the time. He's just really, really good guy.
So we're very lucky, and I learned so much from him on how to lead. I mean, I've had the privilege of leading companies on Broadway, and I'm a nice kid, and I give them parties, and I give the overnight gifts, and I'm maternal. But I've learned from him what it means to show up, how important it is for us to show up for other people in a decent, about you, not about me way. I really have. And now let us all pray.
My question is for Major. What was it like when Carol was talking to you about the being tied up to a tree and being eaten?
All right, to be fully honest with you, me and Leslie McBride are such buddies that her delivery kind of made me kind of want to have therapy. But however, we're such good friends that it was still scary, but I knew that it was still Miss Bliss. But I had to think in my head, okay, this is actually, well, Carol Pelletier and not Melissa McBride, but she still is Melissa McBride. It just brings up the always messing up. Okay. So it was pretty fun film, to be fully honest with you. Yeah, it was really fun. And then there was a ton of guns around me, so that only added pressure. I mean, I knew they weren't loaded, but hey, you never know.
They weren't loaded.
Still, they're guns. Closing things there.
Hello. Hi. So this question is for everyone. Who's your favorite character on the show?
Sam.
I have such a hard time with this question. This gets asked a lot, actually. It's really hard to choose. Because I love them all for different reasons. Because they're all strong in different ways, you know? They all complement each other. I don't know.
Buttons. I liked him for the moment that he was on, but my personal favorite character, you probably guessed this, was Carol.
She scared you to death.
But yeah,
She scared you so bad.
I like her because she shows such determination in her character. You know, like a kind of character that never gives up, that does anything for anybody. Oh, some people. So I personally like to think of Carol as a role model in real life. Never give up, you know? Like, and then there's Morgan. You can find good in almost anybody. But I honestly can't decide. But for me, maybe the top 5 has to be Melissa McBride.
Do you guys have one?
I do Rick and Carol. But recently, this is not a favorite character, but the guy who, it was in the opening, you know when, spoiler alert, Daryl blows up all those guys? The guy in the motorcycle?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who that actor was. He was so good. It just shows you just one, but that's the kind of detail they cast someone like that.
And then they blow them up.
I actually got to see the playback footage of when they filmed that, and Greg McTerr was saying, you're like, so should I just, boom!
That was really loud.
My favorite character on the show is not in front of the camera. His name is Scott Gimple. He's the showrunner and he's responsible for our job. There's a pretty blonde in the front row that stand up, darling. Don't be shy.
If I can interrupt for 1 second, Lori has found somebody to watch Carl. Give it up for Sarah Wayne, please.
Thank you, Toma. First, I have a really brief comment. Major, I want to be you when I grow up. Seriously, I think you're a 40-year-old man in a 12-year-old body. You're so polite, you're so intelligent and articulate, and if your parents are anywhere within the sound of my voice, you're doing a wonderful job. He's an awesome kid.
I know.
Thank you. And my question is for everybody. I am a highly, highly, highly stressed person, and I'm curious, in your off time, what do you like to do to decompress?
Anybody? We can share a mic.
Somebody go. All right, I'll go. All right, so my spare time to decompress. Well, I do quite a lot of things that might some kind of vague and unknown, but let's see. I like to antique, as I've really told you people.
You have a really big camera collection.
Yes, I have 35 cameras. All right, ready? Geek out. Alright, my most expensive one is a $1,000 1920s Rolleiflex. It's a German twin lens reflex camera. Okay, I'm stopping. I'm not. Is that your favorite one? No, my favorite one has to be my little 1930s, I would say, front Rolleiflex. It's my grandmother's. She gave it to me, and what's interesting about it is that it was made during the war. It was on the American side of Berlin, I think, but it's in pristine condition. And I honestly think it's one of the most elegant cameras on my shelf. It's in storage right now. I like to watch a lot of TV.
You're amazing. Dude, I missed out on you, sweetheart.
Let's see. I'll say one more thing. It's super fast. I like to teach myself piano. That's it. I'm pretty freaking good. What? I teach myself piano.
Sarah, how do you relax, honey?
I'm pretty chill. I've been off the show for a second. I went straight from zombies into aliens. I think I'm going back to prison. I mean, I guess my mom would really like it if I could do like a CBS comedy involving ponies and rainbows at this point. You know what I mean? Like, she's so sick of being like, wonder if my daughter's gonna die tonight every time.
What kind of CBS show is that?
It's the one Chuck Lorre and I are gonna write as soon as I get out of here.
A show that CBS makes.
I'm gonna not dig on CBS right now. Because I'm pretty sure Les Moonves is like right out there with a rifle. I watch a lot of stand-up comedy. I'm not anywhere near as smart as my young man over here. I watch a lot of stand-up comedy. Anybody who can make me laugh is a gold medal hero in my book.
I watch a lot of television. I watch a lot of 30 Rock. Like all night long. I've seen too many episodes over and over again. And I like stand-up as well, actually. I really do. My favorite comic right now is Elijah Schlesinger. You watched her stand-up on, somebody knows that. Yeah. She's really funny. She cracks me up. And my husband relaxes me, not in the
giving myself danger, I suppose. I tracked gorillas, the mountain gorillas in Rwanda and Uganda, and I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro in the hiatus between 5 and 6, and just got back from ballooning in Burma and Myanmar, and I'm on my way to rural China May 5th to visit the tribes in northern Tibet. So that's my thing. My thing is why you can walk, talk, and still have a brain, you better see the world, because I don't want to see it in the water. We get too fancy. I also swim a half-mile a day and pretend I'm a fish, so that helps me to decompress that way. My favorite things are Downton Abbey, Outlander. I did used to watch Homeland. I watched very serious, and now for Sarah, I'm going to have to watch The Colonnade. So I'm going to do that.
I drink a lot. Sit on me. We play a lot of games and we like to draw a lot. And I do a binge watch, like Orphan Black. And,
oh, yeah.
question from a young lady over here.
Hi guys. So last year we all lived through the highly debated mystery of is Glenn dead, is Glenn alive, and I know the producers went as far as to remove Steven from the opening credits. I'm just curious if that was something that was kept from you guys as a cast, or if you guys had a great time laughing at all of us freak out about whether.
I do.
Yeah, I knew because there was, he had told like some of the other cast members who then told me what was going on.
We all knew.
Yeah, and then but the producers didn't say anything, and then we got the script, and I had sort of forgotten that he was behind the script, and I texted him. I was like, "What's happening?" He's like, "No, it's not really happening."
How did they tell? Who told you?
Who told me?
Yeah, who told you?
I can't tell you who told me. But I can tell you, we know that the life of the series and maintaining #1 is partly done by our keeping our mouth shut. So it's real simple. It's a real betrayal if you give this stuff away. It's an absolute betrayal, and we're breaking a legal contract. We've signed a legal document. So all these fun things, won't you tell us, won't you tell us? If you have an ounce of honor in you, you keep your mouth shut. And that's what you're asked to do. It's not a big deal. You sign papers that say you're going to do it.
That's $1 million.
How y'all doing tonight? I have a question. Are you guys still getting action figures done? Do you know?
I'm an action doll. Somebody came up, and I'm so excited, and then the head fell off of me. When that action doll showed up at booth 33, forget it, word retrieval, sorry, and the stroke hasn't even happened yet. But anyway, when it showed up at booth 33, I went out of my mind. I took a picture and wrote everybody. I wrote my husband who's in France. I wrote my children, and I wrote the conductor. I'm working on a piece about Leona Helmsley for hopefully for Broadway called The Queen of Mean, and it's about this lady, Leona Helmsley. And he said, "You are the first person that I've ever worked with whose image can be contained in a box." I was so excited to be an action doll, but I understand we were just like test copies, and I don't think they made many reproductions of us. Very sad. You won't find me in Walmart. You'll find me on eBay for $150 a dollar. I'm so excited. Oh God.
Took the Maggie action figure and painted me onto it. I was very excited about it as well.
When we first got our scans for it, I remember talking to a friend of mine, and I was like, "Hey, I just got scanned for an action figure," and he goes, "What's your like special skill? Removable pants?" That might be why mine hasn't come out yet.
I've actually seen quite a few of me, but most of the time they have cookies as the accessory. Pretty well done, though.
Cookies? Hi. If you guys could be on one TV show or film today, like the ideal role, what would it be? Because I see you opposite Kathleen Winnick and Mike East for some reason. And you,
That's me.
I see you in the upcoming Shazam film for some reason. That's what I see. Get the role. That's all you need to know. And if your marriage doesn't work out, God forbid.
Dude, your daughter is sitting next to you right now.
She was actually him. Meaner. She refers to her as her new mom.
Someone's not going to be pouring this week later.
Thank you.
Two more. This question is from Walking Dead cast right here.
Hi. Get my voice on these things. My question is directed to all of you. The Walking Dead dynamics between the characters is the most fascinating I've ever seen on TV. I've never seen people riff off each other so naturally, and it makes their deaths that much more difficult. So I was wondering exactly like what kind of dynamics do you guys go through in order to make that just so believable, especially when it comes to like moments of crisis, moments of romance, moments of death. I mean, how do you guys just, what do you do as my question?
Acting, I don't know. Everybody's really lovely, so you have, you know, a deep respect for everyone that you're working with. They're enjoyable to be around, so that makes it a lot easier to, you know, you're already connecting as people, and that helps translate in your work. Sometimes it can be challenging with people you don't like, but that's never been the case on The Walking Dead for me, personally.
One thing they do on set before each scene is a ritual called story time, and I think that helps in the chaos. If you have a day where you're shooting a lot of setups, it just gets everyone in the same headspace, and they can also look at little elements of the story just to make, because they're so adamant, it's so adamant about the story, to make sure that it engages you guys, and that it's not about fancy camera shots, it's about these people. And I think that is one of the little dynamics of a ritual that I think is very effective. It's no matter how hectic the day is, or if it's early or late in the day, make sure everyone's like starting at the same place.
Also with some of our directors, particularly Mikey Setras, you know how I pronounce it? We have a DP that's, for me, the most brilliant director, and Greg Nicotero. What they do before the take is they take a second of silence. He goes, "Is everybody ready?" And a good AD will say, "Settle." Okay, action. It's a very big difference. And I learned so much from that. And when I direct plays in New York, I will say from now on, "Is everybody ready?" Okay, settle. And you get a moment of silence where you enter what Lee Strasberg would call the sacred space. That sacred space of creation that exists not just for actors, but for Jackson Pollock, for Michelangelo, for the great writers, where they're able to enter the zone, the great basketball players. So that's part of the way you can riff, because you become, your five senses plus your sixth takes place, and you feed off of somebody. And there's already tremendous trust, and if there isn't, you make it so. You make it so. That's what I noticed on that set. When you rush on a set, it is a freaking drag, you know? And the best armies in the world, the citizen armies, say, take another 5 minutes so you can live another 5 years. When you rush that moment, you lose a tremendous amount. The risk benefit is, the risk is enormous to the work. So there's a stillness. Now, I haven't been in situations, and I know the cast has, and I was when I did a miniseries called Holocaust in Vienna, where you're shooting through the night and the dawn is coming and you're behind. And that's rough. You must get it done before the sun comes up or the shots are ruined. And then it's rough. But there has to be a sense of stillness right before the trajectory. And I know that we had that a lot. I thought we had that a lot on the set.
You know, I think for me it comes from trust. I mean, it's interesting because like I've never worked with any of these amazing people up here, and so what I'm speaking to is gone. You know what I mean? Like I'm speaking to a show that's over. My friends are dead. But there's been this amazing continuity that's been brought through because of Mike Satrazemis, because of Greg Nicotero, because of Andy and Stephen and Norman and Melissa and Chandler, the people who were there at the beginning. And I think to me it all begins and ends with creating a space where no one's going to laugh at you. And there's a thing that actors sometimes do out of insecurity, and oddly I've seen men do it with each other more than women. But when somebody takes a risk, risks fail a lot, right? Like we end up with a lot of egg on our face if you're an actor and you're trying to do something new. And I've seen men laugh at each other, and they fold up. And from then on, they only do what's safe or what they've done before, what they've seen before, because nobody likes to be laughed at. And I think what happened very consciously, like we sat down and talked about it for hours that first season, was you want somebody to be able to show up and make such an idiot of themselves and have everyone else go, dude, that was fucking brave. That was really brave. And there was a day where nobody, like Melissa had maybe 3 lines. She wasn't talking to anybody because she was just super quiet and shy back then. And it was the day where she took the pickaxe to Ed's head.
Yeah.
And that like wasn't even a scene. It was like the camera pans past Carol, who, does something to her husband's head. And all of a sudden she like put her heart right out there. And we were all in the Winnebago watching her. And Jeff DeMond was like, we gotta up our game. Like, who, that woman right there? She was so brave. And it became about like, rather than one-upping like being cool or being late to set because you're the powerful one. Like, it was about like, no, be a bigger idiot than that guy, because if you're a bigger idiot, you'll find a way to like do something cool and do something new. And that culture of creating trust between people, like Tova said, I think to me, it begins and ends with trust, because no matter what you do, no one's gonna be like, yeah, dude. It's just not gonna happen. And that, I think, it starts to build a family.
That's absolutely perfect. I'm serious. Thank you very much, because that succinctly and perfectly answers my question.
I don't know that it was succinct, I'm sorry.
It was absolutely perfect. It's just that, like, for years I've been beating my head against the wall trying to be like, how do they do this? How do they do this? But that was absolutely perfect. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
We're just about out of time. We got one last question back here.
My question for Sarah, what was it like working with John Burkle and Shane?
What I'm about to say, I say with the caveat that I love John like a brother. And he's one of the most important people in my life. I was there the day his daughter was born. But in all honesty, he didn't smell great.